This is the list of the competencies or learning outcomes under kinematics. We are done with the first few items here, and most were assessed to have already good mastery of the concepts, as represented by your earned badge with the title based on the first chapter, kinematics. In your book, second chapter, we are now here. This learning outcome, and after we completed the rest, expect that you have a test on mastery leading to this other badge for accelerated motion. Okay, now in this video, we will focus on this, the derivation of the equations of motion, or also known as kinematic equations. Let's start with the quantities related to motion. With these symbols as part of the convention we are following, this convention is necessary to ensure that we are speaking the same language. Remember the symbols: S for displacement, U for initial velocity, V for final velocity, and A for acceleration. And of course, the time. It has a symbol T, all in lower cases. These are the four equations called kinematic equations or equations of motion. These formulas are derived from the concept of uniform acceleration with consideration of objects moving along a straight line. So be careful not to use this in cases when the motion is different from where these were derived. Alright, now based on the convention mentioned at the beginning, this equation here means final velocity equals the sum of initial velocity and the product of constant acceleration value and time. This second equation means that the displacement of an object can be calculated by taking the average velocity, see this, multiplied by the time. The third equation is also calculating for the displacement of an object, which is by taking the product of the original velocity and time and adding that product to this quantity, half of acceleration times the square of time. The last one, equation number 4 here, tells that the square of the final velocity is equal to the sum of the square of initial velocity plus twice the product of the acceleration and the displacement of the object. Let's start our derivation of equation 1. This is the simplest to derive because it came directly from the definition. Acceleration is the time rate of change in velocity. Also, we define the gradient of velocity time graph as the acceleration of an object. Rewriting this definition in symbols, we can have A equals delta V over delta T, and that this delta V is actually the difference between the final V and the initial V. So this divided by the final time minus initial time. Assuming that the time starts from 0, then this denominator becomes just T. When we rearrange, yes, it gives us the first equation in our list, this one here. If you want to verify the equation we just derived, use the definition associated with the gradients. In this graph here of a uniformly accelerated object, we can say that this u or initial velocity and this one is v or final velocity. The time is from 0 to certain value t. Now for gradient, usually takes the symbol m in maths is the change in the vertical axis. Here is change in velocity divided by the change in the horizontal axis. Here in our graph, it's going to be the change in time. The change in velocity is obviously v minus u, and the change in time is t minus 0. The gradient m defined as acceleration, let me write it here instead of dm, which when rearranged further also gives us the first kinematic equation, this. Now for the equation number 2, we can derive that from the definition of the average velocity. Remember that average velocity is the resultant displacement over time. Now here our average velocity is simply the sum of the initial and the final velocities divided by 2. Let me show you this side trip. Say I have a number increasing at constant rate like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we take the average, we have the total divided by the number of cases, which gives you 3. Also, your maths will tell you that in a constant rate like this, we can also get the average by adding the maximum and the minimum then divided by 2. See, we can also get the same value, 3. You can try that with other sets of numbers. Generally speaking, the average velocity of a uniformly accelerating object is equal to the sum of the final and the initial velocities divided by 2, like that. And this average velocity equals the resultant displacement and divided by time. A little rearrangement will lead you to this formula, which happens to be our equation number 2. Now for the third equation, we are going to link the derivation to the topic we just completed in class, velocity time graph. If an object moves with an initial velocity and accelerates at constant rate, we can have a graph like this. By the way, never mind these labels. We can just change this to velocity stroke unit, and along the x-axis, we can make it like time over the unit of time. Again, having labels written like this is also part of the convention. Now, recall that the area in a velocity time graph represents the displacement. So let us find that from this graph. Total area is the displacement S. The area can be easily calculated by taking the area of this rectangle here and add that to the area of the triangle here. This area equals to the product of the sides, which basically is ut, initial velocity times time. For the triangle, the area is half base times height. The base is t, this one, while the height here is v minus u, the difference between the velocities. This expression v minus u can be quantified using equation 1. V equals u plus at. We can rearrange that such that this difference v minus u equals to this, at, or acceleration times time. This means that this height can be expressed as such, and therefore the area of the triangle is half at squared. Now, the displacement, which is the total area, can be determined by adding these areas, ut plus 1 half at squared, which gives us the equation number 3. Okay, before we move to the last equation, let's take a look at equation 1. This looks like a formula when the physics problem doesn't give or doesn't ask about displacement. Only u, v, a, and t. Three are probably given and one is the unknown, which you need to calculate. For equation 2, you can easily see that it can be best used on problems that do not provide information about acceleration A. Now, for the third equation, this is used, obviously, in case when final velocity is not given and not the quantity to be calculated in the problem. Now, for this equation 4, obviously, for these problems in physics that do not mention anything about time. From where this equation 4 came from? The answer is it came from the first two equations. Like in solving simultaneous equations in your mathematics class, let's see what these equations 1 and 2 can give us by eliminating time. Let me rearrange this equation 1. There we have t equals the quantity v minus u divided by a. Then we plug this into equation 2, replacing this t with this value so that we can have an equation without time in it. Remember that what we want is an equation, a shortcut for solving problems that doesn't give any information about time. So here we have displacement equals to the product of the sum and difference of two binomials divided by 2 times the acceleration. We can rewrite this part in the denominator, there, 2a, and this here is a special product. This should be simplified into just this, the square of the final velocity minus the square of the initial velocity. Then we have this equation. In the end, after a little rearrangement, we can have an equation like this. The square of the final velocity is equal to the square of the initial velocity plus twice the product of acceleration and displacement, which happens to be our equation 4. Okay, so that's how these equations were derived. Okay, it came from the definitions and the ideas about the graph, and also from the assumption that the object traveled in a straight line and is uniformly accelerating. Now that you know where these equations came from, you'll get confidence in using it in word problems about motion in physics. Remember, guys, that the formula can only be applicable to objects moving along a straight line and moving at uniform acceleration. When there's a jerk, do not use it. Bye.